today is the identification of the task and the guiding question. Remember, the top of your packet is the guiding question that we're going to be taking a look at through all 8 stages. Okay? So, before we do that, let's quickly go through our standards that are related to this particular lab. Now, I know Friday you guys took your unit test on physical and chemical changes. I'm almost done grading your constructive responses, but this lab does a great job at kind of filling in some of the gaps that I saw with some of those questions that we missed on that assessment. Okay? All right, so remember, physical science. We are now planning and carrying out investigations of physical changes by manipulating, separating, and mixing dry and liquid materials. So, like I said, we've done several labs with this, but like I said, this particular ADI, or argument-driven inquiry, allows you guys to be the planners and to walk through every single step, okay? So, take a look at your handout, and I want you to raise your hand, and I want somebody to read the introduction for us. All right, Casey, make sure you read loud so everybody can hear.
Matter is anything that has mass and takes up space. It is all around us. Anything that you can see, touch, or taste is an example of matter. There are many different types of matter. Different types of matter look and feel different. Different types of matter will also react with other types of matter in different ways. Watch what happens when your teacher adds different types of matter to water. Be sure to keep track of things you observe and wonder about in the boxes below.
Very good. So Casey read a little bit of background information about matter, okay? And we're going to go back through this before we actually fill out those boxes like she told us, okay? So remember our annotating chart. This is something, remember, that Ms. Hunter uses in her class, so it's something that is not new, okay? So let's go through. I'm going to go to the dot cam so that you guys can kind of see. All right. All right, so let's go back through this paragraph and decide what it is that we should be underlining in this first paragraph. So that first sentence, matter is anything that has mass and takes up space. How do you think we should annotate this on our sheet? Is it important information? Is it a keyword or detail? Is it something you don't understand? What do you think it is? Yanni? Something important. Do we all agree? What symbol should we use at that sentence?
The star.
The star. So go ahead on your sheet, mark the star in that first sentence. All right, I want somebody to raise their hand and volunteer. Which other aspect in this paragraph should we annotate? Jay Sean.
Anything that you can see, touch, or taste is an example of matter.
Ah, very good. Why do you think we should have that annotated? Isaiah?
It takes up space.
Okay, good. So it's giving us an example of what matter is. What else, Mai?
Different types of matter will also react with other types of matter in different ways.
All right, so let's hold on your thought for a moment. Let's go back to what Jay Sean said. He said, anything that you can see, touch, or taste is an example of matter. So, looking at those text symbols, what symbol should we use to mark on our sheet?
Star.
Does everybody agree?
No,
Okay, Isaiah, why don't you agree?
because it's not the most important thing in the paragraph. You can use the line because it's a keyword.
Okay, it could be a keyword or detail. Now, I know I'm looking at another symbol in there that I could really use based on this first sentence that we did. Dylan, what do you think? Ah, you made a connection. Very good. We now have the definition of matter, but now it gives us an example. So you just made a connection. So we're going to use that infinity symbol, or a sideways 8, however you want to look at it. needs a little work. Okay? Excellent. Very good. So now, going back through this paragraph, Mai had already mentioned a sentence, said different types of matter will also react with other types of matter in different ways. So Mai, why did you select that as something that we should annotate in our text?
Because I think that's part of our experiment that we're going to do.
Okay, so it's maybe part of our experiment or investigation. Any other reasons why we should maybe annotate this one? Joshua?
Because it's a keyword or detail.
All right, keyword. Hold on. So you said it's a keyword or detail, okay? How many of you guys agree that that's a detail? This sentence right here, different types of matter will also react with other types of matter in different ways. How many of us believe that's a key detail that we should annotate? Got a few hands. Okay, anybody disagree? Anybody just unsure? Okay, all right, and that's fine. That's why we're doing this together. So, the sentence that Mai said, different types of matter will also react with other types of matter in different ways. That would definitely be a detail that we want to use because she also mentioned that's something that we're going to be doing in the investigation. She thought back to this question up here, what are the identities of the unknown powders? So the symbol that we're going to use, of course, is a line. Okay? Anything else in there that we should annotate before we do that? Isaiah? In that first paragraph that Casey read. No? All right, excellent. So now, the fun part.
Yay! You gonna do sleep number?
No, this part I'll be doing. Okay, so remember this first stage. Go back to. Sorry. This first stage is the identification of the task and the guiding question. All right. So just like Casey read, it says, watch what happens when your teacher adds different types of matter to water. Be sure to keep track of the things you observe and wonder about in the boxes. So these are the things that you see. You can use words to describe what you see. You could use pictures to describe what you see. Okay? And then the things I wonder about. You guys actually do this question a lot as we go through our science series, and when you guys are asking questions about a phenomenon that we created. Remember we did the glow sticks and you guys thought about questions and why that happened? Yes. This is exactly what this box is, so it's nothing new to you guys, okay? So, our trusty bottle of water that we've had for this entire unit. So now, our task says that I'll be pouring different types of matter. So there's going to be two different materials that I'm going to use, okay? And I've got to split it, of course, because I've got 3 of you guys. So the first thing that I am going to add to one of the cups of waters is an Alka-Seltzer tablet. That's an antacid tablet that we talked about in some of our lessons. So, and make sure you stay seated so that everybody can see this. And I'm using half of one because I have to kind of conserve my materials for my next class.
I thought you had 3.
She do. So, don't worry, I'm going to hold it up. So if you think about it, in our other labs, it was very specific about the temperature of water and so forth. This does not give me specifics, so I'm just going to use room temperature water, okay? And I'm going to dump half a tablet of Alka-Seltzer. Remember, your job while you're doing this, when you observe, is to write down your observations, or of course you can draw, and also write down things that you wonder. All right.
What the heck?
We're observing. I'm going to walk around so everybody can see what's happening. And I'll kind of describe those that can't see this closely. The tablet is starting to dissolve. Good job, y'all here. Maybe write down something that it looks like or you can compare it to.
Wait, is that salt?
It's the Alka-Seltzer, it's the antacid tablet.
It looks like salt.
People use it sometimes for like upset stomachs and things of that nature.
It looks like salt water. No, it looks like the stuff is salt water.
Ah, see, I thought about Sprite when you said that.
It's like the bubbles in Sprite.
Oh, that's my favorite soda.
So I hear that term bubbles, bubbles. What better term from the language of our standards could we use with those signs? Yanni? Okay, particles, you're getting closer. Okay, Jay Sean?
Dissolving.
Well, dissolving is what's happening, but how can we describe the word bubbles? Dylan? Say that again.
Atom.
Atoms, okay, that does break it down. I'm looking for,
What does it start with?
let's see, one of the signs of a chemical change. A sign of a chemical change. Formation, what are the bubbles?
Reacting with air.
Gas.
Ah, gas, formation of gas bubbles. Okay, good.
Wait, Miss Ryan.
Oh, Josiah, honey.
I don't know what to
I just drew a picture.
Right?
I just drew a
Sleepy.
Okay.
balls.
Yes.
Tell you what I wonder.
Hold your thought. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to go ahead and write down things that you observed or draw and things that you wonder about. So 2 minutes. We are independent, so we're not talking. Remember, we're not talking. Yeah, you can do that. Be able to explode. I'm not clear why we're talking. You will, but I need Is that on you? Think about something else. I'm still unclear why we don't understand what independent means and you're silent. Thank you. You can go, baby. Give you guys about 1 more minute. Still looks like we have our formation of our gas bubbles. We'll walk around one more time. Alka-Seltzer. I'll spell it up on. Actually, it's also in your lab report. We'll get to that in a moment for those of us that need help spelling. No. You will be able to once we get to that lab portion. Yeah, remember to include things that you wonder about. What questions do you have about what you just saw? This first unit, we're just done with this first unit.
Miss Walls, I got a thing on what.
Well, we're almost done.
I got a thing about what I'm.
What we're gonna get to is just those. Make sure you have at least one thing under the thing that you wonder about.
I'm done. You're on.
I know. All right, so now let's share out some of the things that we observed as well as some things that you wonder about. Remember, we're not blurting things out, we're raising our hands. I know a lot of us want to share out, okay? All right, Jacqueline, go ahead and start with you. You can do either something you observed or something you wonder.
Things that I wonder about is why does the tablet form bubbles when it starts to dissolve?
You said, ask that question one more time.
Why does the bubbles, why does the tablet when it dissolves, why does it make bubbles?
Okay, very good question. All right, Isaiah.
I want not will the when you're adding the tablet thing, will it change the mass?
Okay, very good. Going back to our first thing about mass changes. Okay, very good. All right, y'all here? I'm making my way around.
One thing that I wonder is how fast does the tablet dissolve?
How fast does a tablet dissolve? Excellent question. Okay, Derek?
I just want to know what's in the Alka-Seltzer.
Very good. So what isn't in the Alka-Seltzer? Very good. Jay Sean?
This basically what we did in my with the size of the font.
Jay Sean is comparing one of our other labs where we dissolve salt and sugar into different temperatures of water. Very good. Excellent comparison. All right, Kira? Sure can.
Why did it dissolve?
Okay.
Why did the gas form? Could it be separated?
Could it be separated? Excellent question. It goes back to those mixtures and solutions. Very good. All right, D'Anthony?
One of my questions was what type of reaction was this?
What type of reaction? Going back to making sure we know the differences between physical and chemical changes. Excellent. Anything else you needed to add? No? All right, Mai? Will it react to other liquids? Way to think outside the box. Very good. Joshua?
Will the
You said it right. Alka-Seltzer.
Alka-Seltzer change the water's value?
Will it change the volume? So we're talking about mass and volume. Excellent. I like that. Very good. All right, Caleb?
It's a bubbles water particles.
Very good. Something you can think about as we're going through this lab. Dylan, did you have something? All right, Dylan, go ahead, and then Casey, be the last one for this one. So how the bubbles are gas form. Very good. Casey?
What causes it to make gas?
What did what?
What causes it to make
What causes it to make
gas?
those gas bubbles or formation of the gas? Excellent. All right, so remember, my task was to add different types of matter to water. So we've done one. We did the Alka-Seltzer tablet. So now, I'm going to add, and it's just sugar. It just looks like regular sugar. Did you add the sweet tea or Kool-Aid? So I'm going to pour a little bit because I'm going to spread the wealth with my other classes.
Well,
You know. All right. So remember, you're observing and you're writing down what you wonder.
it looks like a pile of
It looks the same.
No, it doesn't.
I'm going to walk around so that
it's
you
not
can see what it
faded.
looks like.
Faded away.
Look at the bottom.
I have a question.
Just fade.
Write it down. Remember, write it in I wonder because we'll go back over that too.
Dang, I forgot my question.
Don't worry, you'll get in the habit of quickly getting your pencil and writing things down. I promise. And Ms. Walls did this lab this summer, so.
Was it boring?
Sugar, this was sugar. No, I had a great time.
What, did you give them a packet?
I did. I had to do a packet. I had to write a report and everything. Everything you do, I do.
Can we have it?
That'd be too easy.
How long did it take for the stuff to use up?
So if this group hasn't seen it, I think you guys, because you guys are in the front.
Is it soft?
No, it's sugar.
Sugar, not salt.
Just looks the same except for the bottom.
In just a moment. I'll give you guys about one more minute because most of you guys were writing as I was walking around. Great job.
Miss Walls, what did mine say about the alcohol?
If it would dissolve in any other different liquid. Yes, you're all- all right, hold your thought. All right, about 35 seconds. And remember, drawings are okay. I know I'm a visual learner. I prefer drawings because it helps me. Just make sure if you're drawing something that you're able to explain what it looks like if somebody asks. Okay? All right, about 10 more seconds. All right, let's go ahead and share out. Just looking at time, we're getting closer towards the end. All right, so we'll start with Jay Sean. You can either say what you observed, what you wondered, or one of each. It's totally fine.
I see we didn't change the color, but did we change the taste?
Oh, okay, so you saw that we changed the color, but you want to know about taste. Okay, very good. Yeah,
No.
say that again. Oh, okay, so maybe at the beginning it looked like you changed the color. Okay, good. Y'all hear?
The sugar was a sleepwalker and
sugar make the water move more clear?
Okay, all right, very good. Jacqueline?
Can you separate the salt from the water?
Ah, sugar, in this case, we poured sugar. Okay, make sure you make that change in your sheet. Okay, can you separate the sugar from the water? Going back to another question from our previous matter that we added. All right, Isaiah?
When you add both of the materials, will the mass change? And if there was a chemical change, will it be a physical?
Okay, so remember our definitions of chemical and physical changes. That question you might be able to answer on your own. All right, Gail, did you have something that you wanted to add? Go ahead.
What made the sugar dissolve so fast?
Okay, good. All right, Kira?
Why Alka-Seltzer dissolve faster than sugar, and what is the difference between the Alka-Seltzer and sugar?
Ah, very good. What's the difference between those two types of matter? All right, good. Jay Sean?
Did the sugar change the mass of the water?
Okay, good question. Mai? Ah, well, it's sugar dissolved faster if I mixed it around. Very good, changing those variables. All right, Jacqueline?
If you mix the tablet with the sugar in one, what would happen?
Ah, interesting. Remember, Ms. Walls is going to answer these questions. These are some of the questions that you're going to be answering as we go through our next stages, okay? But so now, let's go through. We still have some more background information to go through and to annotate, okay? So once again, I'm going to call on somebody to read this paragraph, and then we're going to decide what in that paragraph we need to be able to know. All right. And remember, if somebody else is reading, you are always following along. I still use my finger to keep in touch to make sure I stay focused, okay? So to make this fair, I'm going to use my stick numbers so you guys can read this next paragraph. Isaiah. All right, make sure our mouths are off and we're listening. Go ahead, Isaiah, read loud and clear.
The first type of matter you observe is called sugar. Sugar is a white powder that dissolves when it is added to water. The second type of matter you observe is Alka-Seltzer.
Good.
Alka-Seltzer is white powder that reacts with water to create a gas. Different types of matter, such as sugar and Alka-Seltzer, have different properties. A property is measurable or observable characteristics. There are two kinds of properties that we use to describe matter. Physical properties are color and
Oh, you skipped a line, honey.
Physical properties are characteristics of matter that can be observed without mixing it with any type of matter. Examples of physical properties are color and texture. Chemical properties are characteristics of matter that can only be observed when different types of matter are mixed. Examples of chemical properties are how something reacts with water or how something reacts with an acid such as vinegar. The physical and chemical properties of specific types of matter do not change. Scientists can therefore use physical and chemical properties to help protect the matter of a plant.
All right, excellent. That was a lot of information. So, oops, I think I just turned it off. I sure did. Sorry. I hate when I do that. All right. So instead of going line by line in the text, let's first, I'll wait. Thank you. Let's first, choose something that really stands out. Let's use our text features, like anything that's italicized, that's bold, so that we can go ahead. Why is this?
It won't work.
A property is
Oh.
any measurable or
I should probably turn the power on, huh?
It's checking.
appreciate that. All right, here, my boys, clap once. My boys, clap twice. All right, so now, like I was saying, let's go ahead and annotate some of the things that stand out completely to us, okay? If I see y'all bring these balls in my class one more time, they're going to be mine the rest of the year. Thank you. All right, so remember our bold words, anything that's italicized, are text features that mean something. They mean something's important. So let's take a look at the first one.
Property.
That says property. I'd like to read that one more sentence one more time. All right, got here. Read that sentence one more time. Yes, right here.
A property is any measurable or observable characteristic.
Excellent. We can stop right there. All right, so we definitely want to make sure and annotate this. What symbol should we use?
Keyword.
Casey?
The star.
Say that again.
The star.
The star, important information? It is important information. However, this might be
The line.
a symbol that we use that's a little bit different.
A question mark.
D'Anthony?
Keyword.
It's a key word.
See?
Remember, this is a keyword one because it is bold. And one of our text features lets us know that this is an important word. Jay Shaw. Alright, so what symbol should we use?
The line.
The line. So go ahead and write the line at the top of this.
On property.
Over property, yes.
On top.
So that you know which one it is. As long as you're able to tell what it is, it's fine. Alright, let's take a look at our next bold word, which is physical properties. Yanni, you want to read that sentence for us again?
Physical properties are characteristics of matter that can be observed without mixing it with another type of matter.
Excellent job. So physical properties. What symbol should we use to annotate this sentence?
I don't understand.
Yanni?
A line. Keywords or details.
Okay, so once again, it's a keyword or detail. Now, I also heard, thank you, Isaiah, for raising your hand.
I don't understand.
All right, so let's say that maybe you don't understand something or you're surprised about something. Go ahead on your paper. You can use that symbol. It's fine. Okay? Make sure, though, that you also use that line so that you know that it's a keyword, so that as we're going back through more background information and as you're completing the lab, that you know to look for that particular word so that as you're doing it, you understand how it's being used.
It's
Okay?
not underline, is it?
It can be a keyword. Yes, you can use a line over it as well.
Underline.
Physical properties are characteristics of matter that can be observed without mixing it with another type of matter.
I don't understand.
Okay, so think back to remember we wrote notes, physical properties and chemical properties. Remember in Google Classroom you guys had to give me an example of physical change and tell me what property you changed. So if I dye this sheet of paper red, is that a physical or a chemical change? Physical. Okay, so what property did I change?
The color.
The color.
No, not.
So isn't the color a characteristic of that matter?
Yes.
Yes. Okay? So a lot of this is literally just kind of building back up and filling in those small little gaps that were missing as we were going through the unit. Okay? Listen, we have 2 years for a reason. We listen more than we speak. All right, let's take a look at this because we are getting close towards the end of this lesson for today. Take a look at this last bold word, chemical properties. Would like to read that sentence for us? Casey, you quickly go ahead and read that one for us.
Chemical properties are characteristics of matter that can only be observed when different types of matter are mixed.
Very good. So once again,
Keyword.
what should we use?
Keyword.
We
Underline.
need to use keyword. We need to use keyword and important
Line.
information.
Yes.
Okay, you can. Yes, definitely a key word because it is bold. Remember, our text features lets us know, okay, it's standing out for a reason, okay?
And it can
Remember, some of these symbols, some of you will be using different symbols in your own text. Remember, this is yours. Okay? All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to stop there for today. And we're gonna pick back up tomorrow. We'll spend a little bit more time, finishing up your task so that you know what the materials are and that you're very clear for when you actually start planning out your investigation, okay? So, what I need you guys to do, I need you to stack your lab reports in your group. Remember, we're collecting it to make sure that we all have it